Alright, for those of you who have been following my channel and watching my reviews on the different Carcano purchases I've made from the 3 different dealers, you will notice that DK Firearms was the number one. They're offering 91TS, which would be a slightly more desirable model than the 91/24. And they sent me a gun that was, supposedly good, listed very good plus, almost a low excellent. So I said to myself, you know what? Since the market's hot and eventually these things probably will sell out, why don't you order some more? So today I ordered 4 more of the 91TS rifles. And they came in today, and just out of curiosity, I wanted to see what they sent me if I got more than one of them. Now, a lot of you guys that could go to a retail outlet, DK has them, and I guess Palmetto State and Buds has a retail outlet that's selling these. And if you can pick one out of a rack and choose what you want, that's the way to go. But what I did is just to answer the curiosity of those that can't get there, let's see what they sent me here in this group of 4. Now the box, fairly sturdy. It was done up well. We'll look at the box and everything here. Alright, the box arrived at my FFL guy. It was well sealed, well banded up, no damage, no nothing. I had to cut it open. And basically it's a whole bunch of bubble wrap and 4 guns stacked in there. Which they all, they're all wrapped well. They're all wrapped pretty good in bubble wrap. So, again, I'm going to have to give DK Firearms and an A+ in shipping. They shipped the first single gun really nice, and this is not bad. So, now I'm going to set the camera back and see what we got. Okay, I did go through a transfer dealer, so what I did is I kind of just peeled back enough of the bubble wrap to get the serial numbers in there out, but they're all packed pretty good. And kind of at a glance, this is where I'm wondering. This one here, I'm looking at it, right from this is sticking out. You can see there's a little bit of rust and corrosion, so maybe not as good. I did not unwrap any of these yet. Okay, again, packing good. Everything got here pretty good. There's ample paper in the bottom to cushion it. So. Okay, so I'm going to unwrap them, and then we're going to take a quick look at what I ended up with. Okay, what we ended up with. Most of these are 91TSs. Okay, they still have the old style bayonet lug on there, which they should have been changed out. Wood is, this one here has been reused, recycled. Wood on this one is not terrible. Okay. This one here, the wood's a little bit better. Alright, and I have only one, so it looks like in this lot, which is going to be rare, and we'll look at the dates in that here in a second, this is a 91/28 TS with the different, see that's the difference. You will find the older ones may have been modified to this configuration, where it uses a different style bayonet and has the extra band, or the barrel band there, and the nose cap. So I'm going to sit down and we'll look at each one closely and I'll read off to you what I got. Okay, now we're going to look at what we got. Outwardly, yeah, they're 91 TSs, but there's differences. The first one I got from DK Firearms is an actual 91 TS, the 1917 date stamp on it. That is how they were originally before any modifications were done. So I have an original 91 TS unmodified. Okay, first up, okay, we have this rifle here. Now this one here, I believe it's Bresca 1906 on the barrel. It showed up, and the bolt is amazingly clean. There is cosmoline inside the chamber and the bolt and that, so all the internal had cosmoline of some sort. Not horrible, okay, but it's in there. Right, the stock on this is fairly decent, okay. I mean, it's not a museum piece. Outwardly, no dings, no nothing. Cleaning rod is there, okay. The old style side locking bayonet lug, and your sling swivels here and here, just like a 91 TS, okay. Sling swivels. But this one is modified to where they put the carbine style cutout, and it has a very unusual, instead of adding another barrel band, they placed this sling mount here. This is variation. Now when you look in the book and look at the different modifications, these field notes came out. And when these guns went back in and got reworked, they were told to add this, so this can be carried across the back or front, like for bicycle troops and that. The bore on this one, I can't tell because it's full of cosmoline. So until I clean it, can't give you an idea. Markings, there's some cosmoline on here. I don't see anything unusual in terms of marking. But this is a variant that I do not have in my collection. Okay, cosmoline's kind of heavy. Looks like, what's this? Okay. I just noticed. This one's damaged. This trigger guard magazine housing's bent. Now you can't see, but you can see through it. You can see in there it's damaged and bent. Alright, so that's the first one I got some bad damage on, but ain't worried. You know, I can get another one of these. They're not serial numbered. Or I may be able to pound that dent out and see if I can get it to work. But we got some damage there. So we'll cover that more when we get into it. But a variant. Yeah, look at that. You can see where it's bashed in, dented. Alright, no biggie though. I ain't gonna sweat it. Next up. Okay. This one, another variant. I believe, get the sight up so I can see. There's some peen marks in that. Another Bresca. This one is 1917. Has some dings and ping marks here. So, on this. Now, it has the original side locking bayonet in the whole array here. This one, the trigger guard and stuff isn't damaged. The stock's alright, been reworked. But if you notice on this one, there's no bottom sling mounts. And actually, the stock has been covered up. What this has is just this bizarre side sling mount. So this is another variation. Okay, this one they eliminated the lower sling mounts. Okay, magazine housing isn't crushed. The bore looks, or the bolt looks to be cleaned for some reason. It's all clean up in here like they took it apart, but cosmoline up in the chamber and that, so you got cosmoline there. It's inside the receiver. Not so much on the outside. The other one has an outside coating. And the bore on this rifle, you know, you can see rifling in that, but still it's full of grease. Gonna have to clean it to make a complete determination on this. There are some marks. For some reason somebody prick punched over the markings on this. But when we look at this gun, we'll take a closer look. So, what do we have? First gun came as original. First gun out of this batch is a variation. This is a second variation. Okay. So now I have a collection of several different variations on this gun. That's going to make the third variant. Okay. No bottom sling swivels. Third gun up. Alright, now I'm checking them. Not damaged. Oh, okay, I got the stamp. Alright, I got the stamp I was looking for on the stock. Alright, this one here. Ooh. I'm missing an extractor is what's the deal is here. Okay, this one I'm missing an extractor, which is no biggie. It's broken off. So this one has some parts missing. Let me see. Yep, the other ones have it. Alright, so two of the guns have a slight problem. Okay, it's got an extractor. This one has a damaged magazine housing. And this one has a broken extractor, which is missing. But I should be able to get my hands on one. It can be tricky to put in there. That's the only thing I know about it. So, bolt has some cosmoline on it. Take a quick look. The bore looks good, but full of cosmoline. Won't be able to make a final judgment to the end. Again, Bresca, 1917. I have to get all the gunk off to see if there's any markings or anything on it. Okay, this one has our stock stamp, which everybody's seen. So now that's another reason for me to keep this in my collection. We're, batting 1,000, I guess, as they say. Stock on this, fairly good. And this variation has both the bottom sling swivels and the side mount. Has a little stamp on there, added on as extra, so actually as a collector's lot, these guys are sending me as what a collector would want. So this is, they didn't all break my balls and send me one single variant. They're sending me variations of the gun, which I think was pretty nice of them. So two of them so far have some slight problems, but nothing horrible. It isn't like it's got an unshootable bore or whatever. But sorry, having a beer. But broken extractor, no huge big deal. Okay, the bent trigger guard, I got a gun that's in not that good a condition. I can swap that out, so that's no big deal. Alright, but some interesting cartouches, and there's some interesting stamps on the stock which bear a closer examination. Okay, the actual condition of the bores, they're not like wiped out. There's rifling and that in there, but until I get the grease and flush them out, clean all the oil off of them, I ain't gonna be able to tell. So far, really not dirty. The bolts look clean. The stocks are okay. You know, I'm not gonna try to refinish them or nothing. I'm gonna leave everything original. So now we're gonna go to the last one, and this is another variation. Okay, this is really not a 91TS. Okay, it has the hmm, 1950, can't think, 1930. Okay, it's got a 1930 barrel date. It has the Roman numerals for the fascist year on there, year of fascist state. The markings are different, and this one here, I believe, I can't read the maker, but it's not, it's Gardone. Okay, so this is actually a 91/28TS. This gun was actually manufactured from the barrel date after 1928. Okay, that's what they were doing is in the early 20s or in the mid 20s, they were converting the long rifles to a TS, and then in 1928 they started manufacturing this, and this is in the second year of production. If you notice, the stock's a little different, has a finish on there. Bolt is clean. I think this one's all full of cosmoline and that, but this is the one that's a little gnarly on the muzzle. Okay, got some damage, got some crap on there. Alright, but apparently these later guns, the 28s, which they have a picture of them, in this batch, the quantity of these I think is less. Okay, so if you got one like this with that date after 1928, probably those are going to be the ones that are in least number, but it gives you another variation. It takes a different bayonet, got a different style bayonet lug. Okay, it has that extra barrel band, which is done up for the side mount. And by the time they started making them in 28, they decided they want both sling points on there, underside and backside, or side on the side mount and underside. So that's standard. Okay, and this one here is the stock stamping's a little missing, but this one does have the Roman numerals of the fascist era. So this is actually another type. Okay, it is a 91/28TS. Okay, I told you guys about that. I kind of wanted to get one. I have one, but depending on how the spore turns out, it's not as in good condition as this. So I got actually 4 different styles and examples. One is similar to the first one, you know, but has that stock stamp, which is something to study, investigate. And this one is a 98TS. Okay, check that. My extractor's good on it. Okay, 2 of the guns are damaged. Okay, or probably non-functional. The one without the extractor won't work, and this one here with the bashed in magazine housing here, that's pretty bad. That may or may not work, but it don't look nice. May be able to pull that dent out, see if I can get it to work first if I do anything, but if not, I'll replace it. But I'm not going to complain, because the average cost of these, buying it in a large lot like this, come out to about, after paying my transfer dealer, shipping and taxes and everything, about $270 a piece. So you got to look at it this way. You got to take the good with the bad. Okay, they've given me 4 examples that are different from the 5 guns that I bought. So these people, I don't know, they took the time to make sure that, you know, I do have actually 5 slightly different firearms. In other words, I don't have a duplicate. All right, each one of these has a little bit different feature than the other. And yes, some of these have, you know, may not be quite functional. All right, but I don't think they're going to go and check every one. When I picked that gun up, I didn't notice that magazine was done until I pulled the bolt back and was seeing daylight. So, you know, it isn't like it's missing. And another thing, if they're just cleaning them out or checking them, when you pull this back, you may be able to notice it, you may not, the missing extractor. Okay, but it ain't nothing to get worked up over. I'm not going to complain or try to send it back or whatever. You know, I don't know what their policy is in that, and I don't know if they got spare parts. Probably these are coming out of a depot or a big shipment, and they're just sending them out. So that's my big gamble. Excuse me. That's my big gamble on these Carcanos. And yeah, it was a chunk of money to put out there, but I figured get it while the getting's good. Okay. For what I paid and for the variations I have, some things I have not seen before, and you know, didn't even notice that weird sling mount thing there. And I have to go back, study, do more research, and find out more about the different variations. So there are sub-variations in here. So if you are a true collector, other than the guy, well, you know, I got a 91TS and that's it. If you're a true collector, then this is the time to start buying multiples. You know, if it's a duplicate or something that you don't like, you can always just sell it for what you got into it. And somebody, I guess, would probably buy it pretty easily. So it isn't a money-making thing. It's accumulating examples for to study and do your collection. You know, now I have 5 variants in my collection. Okay. So I can say I'm satisfied. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a bummer. You had some damaged stuff. 2 of them had some issues, but I ain't gonna get upset over it. All right, so like I said, I'm going full bore in this. This is great. And if they do end up getting another variation out there, I'm going to try to grab some more. So stay tuned and, you know, subscribe. And I'm going to start working on the ammo. That box in the back there is a bunch of brass that I got. Going to start doing some reloading and try to get a good load to work in these guns. So stay tuned.